What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Was not planning on doing a Saturday video, but in one of the wildest weeks ever in the sports card world, we have a little bit more news, a little Friday dump action on the news front. Brian Gray, outdone, retired, stepping back as CEO of Leaf Trading Cards, effective immediately. This news / story has been percolating for actually a better part of the week. I think it just kind of got overshadowed by all the Panini NFLPA top stuff. There was an email that I believe it was Sports Card Radio shared where they had reached out to Leaf for comment on a fraudulent autograph situation. And in that email, it stated that Brian Gray was no longer with the company. And then it kind of went radio silent on that. But then once again, everyone was kind of caught up in the Panini Fanatics NFLPA news. So I don't know that people probably did their due diligence digging around on it, or they just kept it hush hush, who knows. But come Friday afternoon, we get the news dump that Brian Gray is stepping back. I believe the rumor is, and I am not super in touch with this, so we'll put this firmly in the rumor category, that he had sold a significant share of the company off his own personal stake, and that he was going to go ahead and step back. As part of that seems all tied in. We do not know who the replacement is yet. Brian Gray posted a nice little send-off on his Twitter page as well. This is the one officially from Leaf. The question is, and I've never been a big, especially in the more modern times, a big Leaf guy. I typically don't go super crazy for some of the unlicensed stuff. Now, that being said, Leaf did do it probably about as good as you possibly can in regards to the unlicensed stuff. They're also really good about, in the non-sports category, like getting actors and pop culture people and stuff like that in. But I think a lot of the traditional companies just really didn't do super well. There's been a lot of talk lately about how they handle redemptions because they do not put expiration date on redemptions. They've always fairly seemed like they've been a pretty, I'm going to say reactionary company, but I mean that in the best of ways possible. So the key question now is who's going to take his place? I believe they have someone already lined up. They just have not formally announced it yet. And then what is this company without Brian Gray? Brian Gray could be a hot button person in the sports card world. He's never been afraid to share his opinion on any number of things at all. I've never personally met him or had any personal interactions with him, so I have no firsthand experience with Brian Gray. But generally speaking, seems for someone who's been in the industry as long as he has been, most people seem to genuinely like him for the most part. And he really has been the face of Leaf. Like when you think of Leaf, you think of Brian Gray and vice versa. So this next chapter of the company, if you will be very interesting to see what that looks like without him as the face man of the company. This would kind of be like, to put it in more, for the new kids on the block, that haven't been around for 10, 20, 30 years, that have had Brian Gray in their life in some way, shape, or form. This would kind of be like if Peter left SGC. I would kind of put this in the same vein on a much shorter term scale, obviously. But, if you've only been in the hobby for a few years and you heard that Peter left SGC, you'd be like, oh my God, he's like the face of SGC. What does that company even look like without him? To me, this is kind of a similar thing with Leaf and Brian Gray. I've already seen rumors and speculations about is Fanatics involved with this? Are they gobbling them up or any of that sort of stuff? And I don't know. I haven't heard anything concrete enough to run out there and, add this into the video. But we'll see what happens. In a week of absolutely wild news stories, this is just the latest thing to drop. Any other week, this would probably be a pretty big deal, but it happened on the week that, really gets overshadowed by everything else. That's all I got for you guys. We'll just keep this one short and sweet. Brian Gray steps down at CEO of Leaf. We will see what the future of this company looks like and also kind of what direction it goes in from here and how it operates without him as kind of the face of the company. Back tomorrow for the weekly sports card market update. Interesting story going on around about Topps redemptions and the Victor Wembanyama thing. I thought about making an own video on that, but I think I'll just loop that into tomorrow's weekly sports card market update. A lot of people are really mad about that. I need to dig into the details a little bit more. I don't understand the vitriol on that one. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, we'll cover that more in tomorrow's video. Like I said, I was not planning on putting this one up, so we'll keep this one short and sweet. Brian Gray out, and I am out as well. We will see you boys and girls on Sunday morning for the weekly. Peace.